5 focus areas that we defined, which are more processes that we see needs to happen. Plan and build the city in a circular way. A fossil-free transportation system. To reduce the climate emissions from our own purchasing, where we see we have a lot of power to use that as a tool, as a strategic tool to drive markets for sustainable solutions, and also a positive, climate-positive energy system. And then the 5th is a just and inclusive climate transition.
Now, we've been really kind of cognizant of trying to separate pedestrian traffic from the bike traffic, kind of trying to put in benches and the likes just to make it a very clear route for everybody. So there's always conflict, obviously, but I think what we've always been saying is, have some kind of consideration for your fellow citizen. You got to slow down a little bit.
And of course, we need to think about how should we develop a sustainable city of the future. Not just putting in new houses and offices, really thinking about how should we do it. And also taking in mind the impact of environmental or climate impact.
Unlike in the US, the landscape architect leads the team. We have to connect the team before the architect comes on board. So landscape architects have a much more prominent role in Sweden than in the US.
And the circular economy, we follow this line: we prevent, reduce, reuse, recycle, recover and dispose. Of course, the most sustainable way is, of course, not to tear down the building and build a new one. That is something we are very proud of.
The old way would be to dig and get rid, but you were saying there's more innovative ways to remediate and land that could also be cost efficient.
Yeah. Exactly.
We are standing on filled out land because when the gasworks wanted to expand the production of gas 1912, they filled out here. So here we had to remediate all this land before we started to build anything. Because they stored a lot of coal here, 200,000 tons of coal, coke on that side, and then the gas and tar everywhere.
This is something when we walk out there. I'm from NVAC, doing the vacuum system for waste transport in the area. And,
did you say you have a pipe system for people's waste to go through to?
Yes.
And like their trash goes into a vacuum pipe, like
so you're gonna see when we walk. There's going to be inlets in the courtyard.
On the right side here, that's the one incoming pipe from the whole area. So it's getting sucked through here at certain intervals that we talked about earlier. Then we have what we call diverter valves. So we divert the waste into this separator that handles that type of waste that we're sucking at the moment.
And this is our vision. Sustainable travel is the norm. We want people to travel with us because they want to, not because they have to.
Our commuters have 25% of bicycles with them, even in the archipelago.
25%, wow.
So it's a lot of bicycles.
Yeah.
And this can take 80 bicycles.
80.
80, yeah. And 300 passengers. And during the peak hours, they are full.
In fact, the city of Gothenburg is projects for a bridge across the river for pedestrians and for bicycles. And the ferry we came with, in fact, she's a bridge.
So it's like a marine bridge, moving bridge.
100% electric ferry, zero carbon emissions. Sustainability by itself is maybe thought of as a buzzword in many cultures, many companies around the world. Can we do it financially in an economic way? Can we do it in a way that makes financial sense? And I think the answer is yes. That you have the power to do something about emissions, do something for this maritime industry that will help reduce carbon emissions, right? But also leave a cleaner environment.
That we would go around 25 knots, and let's say we'd only have 80% occupancy on these vessels. We're not going to say that it's perfect. And then, what would that take from Annapolis to Galesville on that particular distance? 26 minutes. We would charge for around 25 minutes. And the energy cost for that trip would be $18, 18.4
For the whole vessel.
for the whole vessel. The cost per seat, but based on the occupancy, of 80%, would be 77 cents.
If you want to do like zero cost for the passenger, these are the ways to calculate.
And I point out this would make it faster than driving.
Yes.
Which is that's kind of mind blowing too.
Yes.
That
A 30 passenger ferry can transport 1,000 passengers just 3 days.
And we have solutions in our plant that's going to be fully electric. And then if you go, like in your city, if you go ferries, intercity ferries, if you have taxi boats, if you have boats that goes on a certain path every day, I think fully electric is perfect. Because you can plan your charging, you can plan your route, you can design the boat after the path. If you want to have a boat that goes from longer distance, more offshore, I think fully electric sometimes would be hard because it's a lot of power generated on long distance. So either you add a range extender on that electric boat, like with a genset, or you go like a parallel hybrid where you have a diesel engine and an electric engine. Because then you can go fully electric when you are in the city. We talk about fully electric and that's really where we need to go, but just by changing to this system you can save up to 30%.
For the passengers, it's about reliability, which marine solutions are very reliable, and it's also about traveling time. So if we can make the transport system attractive, so you don't need to spend more time traveling with public transportation. So we thought that, okay, if it looks like this, how can we complement existing infrastructure and get cars off the roads?
It's a systemic change. So this is an example of how you run projects to deal with a systemic perspective, and all the partners are necessary to be involved for the transition.
We are very interested to see how this is going to progress at a county, city, and state level, because we truly think that if it's good for tourists, it'll be wonderful for the residents, and I think it's going to be really important to have that balance there. So we're excited about these next steps, and we appreciate being here to see a little bit more.